Good morning to compatriots who are following EFBC this morning. Are we on social media?
Oh yes, we're online.
Via social media, it's good to be in your company. The last time I was here, we had a very fruitful conversation. I look forward to seeing the thing.
Sure. How's the ministry, by the way?
The ministry is doing extremely well. We are nearing the completion of the transition of the tourism department to the National Tourism Authority.
Oh, okay.
That process is on course, furthering the publication of a law creating the National Tourism Authority by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The president has also moved to appoint an acting director general and a deputy director general designate to the National Tourism Authority. The transition itself encompasses a lot of things which we are working on behind the scene, but on the overall, the Ministry of Information is on course, and we're doing everything we can to keep informing the Liberian people, following the submission of the draft national budget to the legislature. We will today be hosting a very special edition of the Maker press briefing. The Minister of Finance and Development Plan, Honorable Gafuan, just to explain to the Liberian people the programmatic aspect of the budget, the priority sectors, what are the overall macroeconomic impact that the budget will have on the citizens of Liberia. So that press conference will be held at 12 p.m. today at the Ministry of Information. So we just want to use this medium to also inform the mass media to be there to echo the voice of the Minister of Finance, question on some of the important issues. The budget has been out for a couple of days. People have seen it. And, it's important for us to come to, even though it's a draft budget, but the public needs to know what informs the appropriation and everything that in the budget.
We are saying reading, it's a big.
It's a voluminous document.
Yeah, it reflects the size of the budget now, billion. When it's million, you can read quickly then. But I wanted to come back to that tourism. Is it a good thing? Is it that removing more responsibilities from your shoulders? You at MICA removing tourism.
Well,
are you sad?
I don't want to see it as removing a responsibility on our shoulder, because we have never been overwhelmed with a job at the Ministry of Information. But it's just about placing the priority of the government in the right way, so that it can be given the attention it needs. It can be able to attract the kind of attention it needs from international partners. Because don't forget, the tourism sector is one sector that the government can only create an enabling environment. The infrastructure and everything that there will be driven by private sector actors, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we want to do. And with the enactment of the law, that process is on course. So yes, it is not a relief on our shoulder. Of course, we've been working with the tourism department very well. They have accomplished some things currently in the current budget. There are some PSRP projects that they are undertaking. The remodeling of the Providence Island, the J.J. Rao Monument, other touristic sites across the country. So they've been working very, very well. But given the fact that tourism is a major component of the arrest agenda, we want to treat it with distinction. We want to get so it can attract the attention and attract the kind of the dividend and benefit that, because it's a whole sector that has a lot of untapped potential, which we want to develop. And to do so, you need to treat it exclusively. So we are working in line with the transitional team. The president constituted a board, which is chaired by Mr. Christopher Onanuga. Minister Jeremy Pia is also a member of that board. They've been working to enhance the transitional process.
Let's talk about overall governance. And this is something we've talked about. And you've done a lot of comparisons during your presentations at MICA. Where are we with the overall rolling out of the arrest agenda, a national development plan that impacts Liberians? The president was speaking yesterday at a church in Cinco. He said, well, his desire to contest in 2017, 2023 was to have an opportunity to provide a leadership that cares. Now it was a packed race car that had the opportunity to be put on the racetrack in 2023 finally. In terms of governance, where are we? Are things improving?
Well, we may not be at the mountain top, and this can be clearly seen when you take a mental flight back to where the country was 2 years ago. The National Fire Service Bureau, no fire truck. Liberia National Police, the whole anti-robbery department or section had one vehicle. Civil servant would not pay on time. EDC was like a Christmas light. The roads were deplorable. The overall atmosphere of governance took a nosedive. The international community shut the doors on Liberia. Sanction was raining on officials of government. The country became a failed state, a pariah state. $1 million worth of drug was discovered here. The people who brought the drug walk away free. Every service center across the country was shut down. That's where we were.
So what has changed?
And then came in the rescue mission. Came in the rescue mission. Today, the National Fire Service is not only well equipped, but they are now decentralizing the activities. Fire trucks being deployed to counties, right? Look at the police. Police presence has increased. The response time of police have increased. Because why? Because they're giving logistical support. Law enforcement officers now may giving insurance coverage. Okay? The road network, the road infrastructure, you see the tremendous work that has been done by Minister Roden Gillings and his team of competent deputies at the Ministry of Public Works. Look at EDC. It's like somebody went to EDC with a match of wine, and all of a sudden, an entity that was noted for inefficiency has become so effective to the extent that many Liberians would jokingly post on Facebook and say, "Oh, your carrier covering with tie with it nowadays." Okay? The overall governance of the country. Officials of government are now mindful that they are guided by a code of conduct. That if you are appointed by the president, you didn't declare your asset, you'll be suspended. Scores of officials suspended for not declaring their assets. The NDCC have announced that for the first time in our history since the enactment of the code of conduct, we have achieved 90% compliance rate. That's unprecedented, right? On the international front, look at the way Liberia is being held. Following our election as a non-permanent member to the Security Council of the United Nations General Assembly, our president being selected among 5 to sit with the most powerful leader on earth, Donald Trump, the president of the free world, the president of the United States of America. And following that meeting, you see a lot of diplomatic inroads being accomplished by our country. Liberia passport was like a stigma. Nobody wanted to carry a Liberian passport over the last 2 years. Because why? Your passport was in the hands of criminals, drug dealers, notorious criminals were given not the ordinary passport, but diplomatic Liberian passport. Today, the US is confident that significant improvement has been made in safeguarding the dignity and integrity of our passport. And they have now said, look, the visa reciprocity, we gave it 3 years, from 12 months, 36 months. That could have happened under a leadership.
But why should these things be overly amplified?
It is not being over. It is not
But
being.
you were elected to do them, by the way.
But you're asking a question now, you know.
Yeah, but-
We were elected to do it, right? But you asked me the question, where are we with governance? I'm going to give you
and what has changed?
A lot has changed. A lot has changed. Today, you can proudly move. You can proudly move across the world with your Liberian passport in the dignity, the respect that we once bear has now been restored to our national insignia, the passport, right? Look at the governance of the country. The president, the assembly, a team of competent officials that are managing the affairs of the state very effectively. Okay? So a lot has been accomplished. A lot has been accomplished, and I really do believe that Liberians across this country are now regretting. Liberians who brave the storm, defy nature, were on that rain on that fateful September 17 to say, we've come to show our resolve that we are prepared to usher in a leadership. That leadership is given to Liberian people right now what they deserve, the dividend of democracy. Pipe-borne water being restored, not just to Monrovia, but to leeward counties. Electricity, new communities connected, new counties connected. So that's why the government was elected, and that's what we are doing. I know that there are some of our friends who have been positioned, given the nature of our politics, who will constantly be there to criticize. We have elected to pay very less attention to them because we have a duty. Our duty is to communicate to the Liberian people what the government is doing. And that's why the Ministry of Information, we are devising new programs every day, the government town hall, reaching out to people, citizen feedback mechanism. We do all these things to tell the people the government is doing, to also listen to our people, what they want their government to do. So a lot has changed, family. And as a citizen of Liberia, I'm proud that the president has given me this opportunity. It is not a right, it's an opportunity to be a member of the team that is driving this upward movement of our country.
Yeah, but I get it. But one of the criticisms of the government, especially on the issue of the economy, is that the prices of basic commodities are still high. Of course, the president set up a team led by the vice president to look at the contradictions between taxes and the prices as well. When are we going to see the prices of things reduced to the extent that Liberians have the opportunity to afford and purchase?
Those who tend to criticize, even when the government reduced the price of the 25 kg bag of rice from $17 to $14.50, they stay criticized. These are people who, I would say that they are ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, you think so?
They are ashamed of themselves. You know why they are ashamed? That this old man who they predicted would have died one day after the election, that they said all sort of these derogatory things about.
You show somebody predicted somebody's
dead. They say that. The records are there. That this old man, this leader, this man is doing exactly what they failed to do. So they are frustrated. They are angry. Because it doesn't make sense for anybody to say the government has not done anything to address the bread and butter issue. The national staple is rice. The government say, look, the price of the bag of rice is unrealistic. The president set up a price committee, the ad hoc committee headed by the vice president. What has that committee done? That committee has met with stakeholders in the business community. And as a result of these meetings, the government was able to announce an agreed price that was jointly agreed with the importers and the government. That look, the retail price of the bag of rice should be $14.50. And that price is holding. Today, the price of the bag of rice across the country reflect exactly what the government announced. So you can say the government has done nothing to tackle the daily bread and butter issue. Of course not. The government is working. Okay? There are other prices that the government has also managed properly. Look at the price of petroleum products. Okay, you know very well when we assumed the leadership of this country, a gallon of gasoline was almost hovering between now $950 and $1,000, right? Today, for 2 years, a gallon of gasoline has not exceeded $800. They sold below, some places go $720, $780. It's not exceeded $800. So the petroleum products are very important, because if you have 1 cent increment, it will affect everything across the country. That's the thing the government has done. I'm coming. The government, through the Ministry of Transport, announced a new pricing structure for transportation across the country. So how can somebody say?
Is it taking effect?
It is taking effect. Do you know why it's taking effect? Because this pricing structure was not imposed on the transport union. The Ministry of Transport, the stakeholders, they met and they decided to say, look, given the price of the petroleum,
including the drivers,
yes, the transport union, right? Given the price of the petroleum product, given the good condition of the roads across the country, right? We have to agree on this price. So the Ministry of Transport announced a new pricing structure. Okay, so you can't say the government has done nothing about pricing in the country. The meeting with the vice president, the meeting with the ACO committee, the pricing committee being headed by the vice president, is still ongoing. There are a lot of commodity prices that are being reviewed. And in due course, a new structure will be announced. So we take pride in what we are doing as a government. That in just 1 or 2 years, we have accomplished a lot. But again, don't forget, don't be distracted. There are people who are prone to criticism. There are people who are prone to believing their own opinion. And so even if the government say the price of the bag of rice will be reduced or has been reduced from $17 to $14.50, they believe the government has done nothing. So yeah, what do you want me to say about such a person?
Yeah, but it is your.
But you know what, family?
No, but Daniel, it is your response. It is your response to these people who criticize the government that have also been, people believe that your reaction to these people have been very, how can I say, that you insult.
Don't get distracted.
You insult. And why do people believe that you
don't get distracted?
Particularly have.
Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted.
No, I'm asking you.
Because
yourself to these people.
We at least, I say we, the team at the Ministry of Information, we are at least bothered about what people in opposition say about us. My job as the deputy spokesperson of the government, the deputy minister for press and public affairs, it is not to give coffee to people in opposition. I'm there to sharpen the contradiction. I'm there to communicate on behalf of the government. I'm also there to repel negative propaganda.
But you can do
so if somebody comes up, you can choose my choice of words. As far as we're concerned, I have never rained invectives on any leader in this country, whether you're in opposition or in the government. I've never done so. So if people have comprehension issue, that's their business. I have a piece of job to do, and I'm doing it very effectively. Okay. If somebody
can you justify calling the former president mosquito brain?
I didn't say so either. It's left with how people say it. If I, for example, say that somebody has a very short memory span and people want to interpret their own way, that's the business. I have said what I said because somebody is going to forget. If the former president says something that runs contrary to what happened to the country under his leadership, and I say apparently the former president is very quick to forget, and people say what they want to say, that's their business. But I have a duty. And to the best of my recollection, I do not revert to invectives. I have tons of vocabulary that I can use in my reservoir to describe anybody who disagrees with the government and not to insult them. So people who want to trivialize national conversation and say, oh, the people causing money, causing power, that they are business. Hold on a minute.
To de-energize, because you people at the Ministry of Information look very robust every morning. Instead of plan to reduce your passion on how you communicate government successes as well. Do you think so? Do you think people want to de-energize?
But that's the point.
All of you?
So yeah, what the investors, right? There are people who said, look, we brought the government to power. There are some of them, I don't want to call names here. We brought the government to power and we can destroy them. And they brag about it. The reason why you see them targeting the Ministry of Information It's because we are not giving them the latitude to do that. And on the radio, we have a press conference on a bi-weekly basis. At that press conference, we don't just communicate government position. We sharpen the contradiction. We respond to issues that are manufactured. We respond to falsehood against the government.
Apologies.
So I'm very unapologetic about what I do at the Ministry of Information. And guess what? So they are not targeting us. They say, oh, they are the Ministry of Information making us, people not listening to us because people listen to the Ministry of Information. Before we speak, they're very proactive and everything. So you just look at it. Right? If we're not doing anything at the Ministry of Information, no.
But the wrong thing can also attract attention.
That is not true. The day you hear, let me just speak in simple English. The day you hear opposition people praising Ministry of Information, it means that the government is not doing well. The day you hear opposition people, and you see how was the praising Jarawa Tombo? Yeah, the men are, because so the day you hear people who want to replace the government, the day you hear them praising us, I mean to say the government are working out. But the reason why our voices are so piercing, it gets to them, it irritates them because we are getting them. We are getting to them. We are deliberately intentional about what we do at the Ministry of Information. Very unapologetic.
Do you believe
yes.
that you at the Ministry of Information are communicating effectively and without distortion, and the Liberians are getting it? Do you believe that?
I do believe that we are communicating very effectively. I do believe that the government communication team is the best that the president has assembled, and we are doing our best to effectively communicate on behalf of the government of Liberia to the people. We have devised new strategy, like I told you, the government town hall, the outreach program. These are conduits through which we intend to take the government to the people. Other government never did it. They sat in Monrovia here and they did what they could do. For us, we said no. The government is constituted by the people. The people deserve to know what the government is doing, especially in this ancient time where social media is very predominant, right? Anybody who got a cell phone, the other day woke up to Facebook and I started receiving calls about somebody who posted something about the former president. And I started receiving calls. What happened? The person posted. So that's how terrible social media is. So when you are managing government communication in this ancient time, it requires you not just to be proactive, but to be multidimensional. So when we have press conference 2 times in a week, we have a government town hall on a bi-monthly basis, we have outreach program, we have radio appearances. It helps to sometimes erase the blurred and distorted picture that our friends in the opposition try to create about the performances of the government, right? So it's a duty that we take very seriously. It's a task that we are performing, we are executing, and I'm very much confident that the Liberian people are getting the message on the daily basis.
What is the government's response to some opposition
you asked me to respond again.
Who believe that it is you people in the government that's spreading this quote-unquote health problem of the former president? They do believe, I've seen that it is, I was speaking with one of them. Is it true that it is the government people that's spreading this
government
illness of the former president?
Government has channel of communication. The primary channel of communication of the government of Liberia is the Ministry of Information. The presidential spokesperson. Yes, those are the official channels of communication with the government of Liberia. Presidential spokesperson, the Ministry of Information, whole of government. Have you ever heard or seen anybody from the Ministry of Information, anybody from the government communication team helping this quote-unquote, I don't like to say illness about the former president? No. We do not believe
so that. Why do people believe that?
Well, you see, people have the right to believe what they want to believe. It is not my job as deputy minister of information to be going to people say, don't believe what you believe in this. No, it is not my job. People have the right to believe what they want to believe. But what we want to do is to set the record straight that the government has got no intention to, which ill about former leaders of the country. It goes beyond former President Weah. At the other day, I was here, I spoke very well with Madam Salih. She's very passionate about the country. I was in Ghana attending the investment conference on Liberia, and the foreign minister was on her way to deliver keynote remark at that event. And coincidentally, she encountered former President Salih at the airport. So, Madam President, we're having an investment conference for Liberia in Ghana here. Oh, yes. And she followed the foreign minister one day and made a very passionate remarks to investors that attended the conference. So you want to have a situation where our former leaders can be alive and contribute the little they can do behind the scene to the upliftment of our country. We do not want to push anybody away. If they did it yesterday, I would not do it today. If it was wrong yesterday, it will be wrong today.
So there has been no mention.
So I mean, if anybody has any proof to say that, what Minister Jerry Limipia would not say that, Kula Fofana would not say that, Daniel Sando would not say that. So we have to understand we have a problem. The whole world has a problem. I was in Cape Verde 3 months ago to attend the conference on information integrity in Africa and the Sahel. I just returned from Senegal a couple of weeks ago from another conference. All of the conferences, one thing keep coming back is the threat that social media poses to democracy around Africa. We have to take it seriously. Somebody use their page in the morning and say something happened to somebody, and the whole country is concerned about it. Do they have proof? Have they been reprimanded? No. What can we do as a country? We can't do anything because we do not control this platform. So Africa now is devising strategy to hold these big tech responsible, because somebody could infuse chaos in a community just by pressing that post button on their social media page. You could infuse chaos that will lead to destruction of property, loss of lives, in the name of being a social media activist or content creator. So it's a problem. It's a problem, which we're going to talk about later on, but I just want to set the record straight that we have a lot to communicate on behalf of the government. And that task does not give us the free space to be delving into triviality, who say this one, who say that. No, that's not our business. Okay. So we have absolutely nothing to do about that.
Let's come to, I know the finance minister is appearing at 12 noon, but the budget beforehand, is it a budget of the people or for the privilege?
Well, that's here from the finance minister. The budget comes from the executive, submitted by the president, but of course, the Ministry of Finance Development Planning understand the in totals of the budget. So let him come to the press briefing today.
But you have seen the budget.
And that's why.
Is it all for the privileged or for the people?
The programs are in the budget are people-centered programs. For example, investment in road infrastructure, investment in electricity, investment to expanding the water and sewer infrastructure across the country. Those are all people-centered programs, right? But the whole arrest agenda, as a matter of fact, is a people-centered agenda. So, of course, the budget being the driving tool for the implementation of the arrest agenda has to be people-centered. So, I mean, last budget you saw salary top-ups for civil servants. I've seen the budget, but I don't know the details in the budget yet. The Minister of Finance has to come to the press briefing to tell what is there for the civil servant, what is there for health workers, what is there for this, what is there for road and everything. Of course, it is spelled out, but he has to give a vivid explanation. And, and then we now can say, yeah, we are as a government. Here's what we are doing. But of course, in the last budget we saw salary top-ups for civil servant, right?
So we expect something to happen.
Well, I can't say that. That year from the Minister of Finance.
Let's come to road.
Yeah.
How far are we with the government's road development?
Well, the Autopause campaign is on. You see across Monrovia. What you can see in Monrovia, the Autopause campaign is on. The same thing across.
I think what I've only seen is the overpass bridge.
No. There are Their
So
intervention.
when you talk about autopsy, it should be spread reports all over the floor.
So they felt like
seeing anything like that.
They felt like you're not only person, you're not see all right.
I'm moving around, Daniel. So
but you can see
specific.
You can see you not see what happening in Grand Crew. You not see what happening in Sando, right? So the autopsy campaign by October 15 is the deadline for the commencement, mobilization of all road projects.
You mean November 15? We are in November.
I said October 15.
Okay.
Yes, that was the deadline.
Okay.
But the ministry actually issued an announcement that by the 15th of October, the resumption of all road-related work across the country will resume. Why? Because the works was stopped by the rain. Of course, you see the RIA road. The work there has been stopped because of the rain. It will resume. But why they resuming? You see, light posts have been planted because when you drive from that airport by 3-4 o'clock in the morning, it's a death trap. So we are happy that the LDC, the government of Liberia through the LDC saw it feasible to light up that corridor. It's a major corridor. When you leave Liberia, you go to other countries. The road leading to the airport are by far the best. So we try to bring our own road up to international standard where there can be visibility where you don't even have to use the fog light on your vehicle. It's good for us. Yeah.
Okay, if you just joined us, you're listening to the Super Morning Show. Daniel Sando is our guest. He's the Deputy Information Minister for Press and Public Affairs. Before we take calls, what are we going to see? Is there going to be a change in whatever means? And just to throw light on the recent indictments of some former government officials, including the chief of protocol and her daughter. It is being termed as a witch hunt. It is being termed as a witch hunt. What is the government's reaction to those who say it is a witch hunt when you indict, especially former government officials?
I told you something from the beginning that there are people who are prone to believing their own opinion. There are people who advocate in opposition follow a fixed template, and that is to say that when somebody commits a wrong and they are being held to account for their action, they term it as a witch hunt, right? So we don't expect anything more from people who are in opposition. But what we do as a government is that we have a duty. Don't forget, this government came to power on the pledge of fighting corruption. It hurts that we've not succeeded in convicting some of the people who have been accused, not because the government is not committed, but because of the bureaucracy in the courts.
Is the executive trying to exclude itself from that particular?
I've always said this perception of conscripting government as just being the executive is wrong. And that is why the country has not made significant progress in time past. Government comprises 3 distinct but coordinated branches. The fight against corruption is not just with the president or the presidency. Of course, the president has to exercise the political will, which he has done in this instant. But is there any logical reason that we can give the Liberian people why the court held the asset recovery case for 9 months? Is there any reason justifiable enough that we can give? Because in the end, all 3 branches, officials in all 3 branches are accountable to the Liberian people. Is there any reason why the Supreme Court held the asset recovery case for 9 months and they couldn't do anything? In the end, they had to rule before the asset recovery team started to put her pieces together. The many renewed through the executive order by the president, and today they are scratching the rock. So I'm saying this to say that there are people who think that the culture of impunity should persist. Rather than terming this thing as a witch hunt, as a political bluff, respond to the substantive in the indictment. The thing that people saying about Finabono and Ododolala, then we'll respond to you. But those who sit in a small cubicle and say, oh, the government is witch hunting. Even the same people said that the government witch hunting Mr. Samuel Tuer and co-defendant. But guess what? Samuel Tuer and co-defendant have gone to the court already and said, yeah, we committed a crime. We use the money. Didn't you hear them say, well, witch hunting Samuel Tuer? But they have gone to the court and said, yeah, we use the money. But we are covered with immunity. Now the prosecution is saying that immunity does not extend to anybody beyond the presidency. So they have to account for the action. But guess what? This very Samuel Tuer case is still lingering in the Supreme Court. Why? So we need to take our attention off because the presidency has proven to be committed. The president has shown the political willpower, set up an asset recovery team, gave the Anti-Corruption Commission the free hand to do her job and everything. What has the court done to ensure that these cases are tried on an expeditious basis? What has the court done?
I don't know if this is for you, but we understand that the former chief of protocol is not in country. That was why the arrest was not effected. Has the government launched any kind of investigation through Interpol?
I wouldn't tell you.
But is it being done?
I wouldn't tell you.
I mean, we want to know.
I will not tell you.
Why?
What you want to know is that she will be brought under the jurisdiction of the Liberian government, right?
I mean, Liberian people want to know.
I will not tell you when.
And which
I will not tell you whether the government are communicated with Interpol. As we have to let out to the public what is important. What is important is that an indictment has been unsealed. And what is in the indictment, she can be tried in absentia. Right? The number of people who are linked to the commission of that crime are beyond Finabono and her daughter. So while efforts are being made to get her here to account, I would not want to give you all of the details that are unfolding behind the scene. But what I can say to you is that as a government, the president has shown the commitment. The judiciary has to see the need to expeditiously try some of the cases. Okay? Because don't forget, there's a statute of limitation. That statute of limitation, I'm told in the data number 14 the other day, they sent it to kind of increase it. If somebody enter government and stole millions of dollars and you don't prosecute it in 5 years, the law says you can do anything today. That's what our law says. So people are using that statute of limitation to abscond justice. You come, you are given opportunity to serve in government in a position, you steal money, and you try to buy time through the statute of limitation. It is wrong.
Okay.
The president is doing everything to fight corruption, but the judiciary need to help. They have to see it as a holistic fight to save our country, and not just think about the president. The president is doing well. He's doing well. Dismissing people, suspending people, sending RCC to clear your name. These are things that never happened before. They're not happening. So the court need to double up in trying these cases.
Okay. Well, call us on 0880514-096-085-677-376. We have in studio Minister Daniel Sando of the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. Let's hear from this caller right here. Good morning.
Good morning, my son.
Morning, Diwa.
Good morning to my son, Daniel Sando. Papa.
Good morning, Diwa.
So, every one of you guys that the president appointed, he just called me. No, I said, don't talk to you, man. Before we talk, for instance, if I'm in a position and I left and you put Daniel Sando there, I think Dean was supposed to help to uplift Daniel Sando, or not to bring Daniel Sando. So when you bring in Daniel Sando, you know what you bring down? You bring the Republic of Liberia down. What did my papa said? My papa said, He never came for blue. He never came for green. He came for the Republic of Liberia, and that's what he doing. So like who doing the election the 1% or what he talking about all one relationship, but I see nothing. Nothing. So the way he win half the time he come back, he when he voting and put in position, he will do something on this country.
Okay, Dio.
To you in Sudan, let God bless you. Let God bless you. EFPC family in Jesus' name.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Yes, you want to leave from the noise? Let's hear you. Okay, thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, sorry, your line is bad. Let's hear from this person. Good morning. Morning. What's your name?
My name is from Kakata.
Yeah, let's hear it from Kakata.
Yeah, Mr. Good morning to the Honorable Deputy Minister. The Deputy Minister has said the truth. People like some of our friends in Canada are saying that in 2 years, former President Weah nothing has changed. Sometimes we ask the question. If you say that has changed, you were hearing in the past 6 years when people sold in land, the purchase their people sold for $6,000 rand for 25 kg. You were in that at that time when people sold in land 4 a.m., 3 a.m. just to purchase gasoline for their people and back. When we do at that time, when people was trying to start a thing that was cheap up. Today, things have changed under this president in 2 years' time. Today, now purchase better the 25 kg in Canada for 2004 and nothing has changed. For what? Today we purchase gasoline for down, for the station that they are due. Purchase gasoline for 1,000.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's hear from this person here. Good morning. Your name, please. Okay, thank you. Let's hear from this person. Lastly, good morning. Oh, call us on, we can take the last call on 0775 677 376. Hello.
Hello.
Morning.
Yeah,
Where you called from? Yeah, let's hear you. Okay, thank you so much. Well, Mr. Sando, you listen to the callers, a couple of commendations.
Yes.
But people under the live feed who disagree with you. Yeah, but you can respond.
Powerfully, the strength of our democracy is for us to agree and disagree. I'm not naive to think that the over 5.4 million people in the country would agree with what Daniel Sando says. No. What I do agree with, my upbringing, my professional tells me that what I'm doing is the right thing. And the commendation comes as no surprise. Everywhere we go, every radio station we sit on, there are people who appreciate what we're doing. Because actually, just the story is just one and the same everywhere. The last quarter struck a very important point that I didn't mention. When the president nominated us at the Ministry of Information, the confirmation took us a month to go for the confirmation because the docket of the Senate was crowded. A lot of people were appointed and everything. Minister Weah was out of the country. He had to come, but we were the only 2 officials appointed by then. So they found the schedule our confirmation. And we were, by the grace of God, and the help of the Senate, we were confirmed. The president gave us a nomination letter. And one afternoon, I drove to the Ministry of Information. I took a deep breath in disbelief, and I asked myself, God, what am I doing here? That question was because the entire building was filthy. I come from Capitol Building where I have my office, fully air conditioned, fully foundation, everything. Ministry of Information, no decks, no computer, no electricity, no bathroom, the roof leaking, the vicinity of the building so filthy, the grass are overgrown. But we took up a challenge. Today, the Ministry of Information is an attractive place where people drive in to see the art gallery, take pictures for social media posting. We are proud of ourselves.
Okay.
But when people who were given the opportunity to lead this country, they came here and they bastardized everything. They stole from the country. They did little to improve government communication. They did little to improve the livelihood of the people. Today, they are the same people who sit on radio station and say, nothing changed, and this one, that. Like the people you want to be following and this and that. Family, we have a duty. We are grateful.
Those people, they are entitled. So we'll give them the time.
That's what I said. Well, so you have the right. As a journalist, you have the latitude, you have the right to give them the time. But as a person, as a communicator for the government, I don't think they should be my focus.
Okay.
Because these are people who got very little to offer. Even if President Baga brought up $1 trillion budget, they will say the budget not good for the country. So
okay, we have to go.
Okay, so it's been a very good time interacting with you. I appreciate all of the callers, the listeners who took up the time to call to give their commendation. Receiving good faith, the young man who called about the transportation, I will communicate with the Ministry of Transport. Maybe they will have to come to the press briefing on Tuesday or Thursday to follow echo to what they have already announced. But on the overall, I thought the conversation this morning was good, and I look forward to always coming here on State Radio. Thank you.
Thank you so much. He's Daniel Sando, Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs, Ministry of Information, Culture Affairs and Tourism. My name is Vafle Kamara. Join the team tomorrow for another presentation of the Super Morning Show. Bye-bye.